taking you up so high. Every drop a diamond in the night sky. Level up your game, no need to ask why. Come get a cup, feel the magic flow. We pour into the audience, watch us glow. One drip at a time, take it nice and slow. In our daily drip show, let your style grow. Pouring into hearts with each heavy beat. Raindrops of rhythm make us all complete. Audience waving hands, feel the heat. Dripping in finesse, can't be. Colors of the night, mixing shades so deep. Every drop we spill makes the vibe steep. Cups overflowing as we take that leap. In the daily drip show, dreams we keep. Come get a cup, feel the magic flow. We pour into the audience, watch us glow. One drip at a time, take it nice and slow. In our daily drip show, let your style grow. Pouring into hearts with each heavy beat. Raindrops of rhythm make us all complete. Audience waiting hands, feel the heat. Dripping in finesse, can't be beat. Pouring into hearts with each heavy beat. Raindrops of rhythm make us all complete.
Wake up, babe, it's time to glow. Routine check before we go. Coffee sipping smooth and slow. Watch me in this daily show. Sink is full, but no time to pause. Snap a pic just because. Windows down, we feel the breeze. Living life with such an ease. Our daily drip show. Life's a vibe, you know. Tell your friend, tell your cuz. Spread some love, it's a must. Morning rush just fades away. Tune into our special day. Through the highs and all the lows. Join us in our daily flows. Comment what you think and stay. We're here to brighten up your day. Subscribe, we got that special glow. Welcome to our life's grand show. Our daily drip show. Life's a vibe, you know. Tell your friend, tell your cuz. Spread some love, it's a must. Comment what you think and stay. We're here to brighten up your day. Subscribe, we got that special glow. Welcome to our life's grand show. Our daily drip show. Life's a
Raindrops fall on city pavement, washing secrets in the dark. Daily drip, the crowd's amazement. Knowledge streaming comes to spark. Thunder in the nighttime sky.
Get them ready. What up? What up?
Hey there, our day drippers. We have a daily drip show during the day for y'all today. Might hit y'all with a nightly drip show, but for now, you have just me for the time being. It is your co-host, Jim Jones. I'm going to be rolling this solo for the most part with Cassius Pay hopping in a little bit because he's the producer. He helps keeps things rolling and going. So Cassius Pay, go ahead and say hey to the viewers.
Hey, what's up?
All right. So
Yeah.
Cassius Pay, he's in the background. You might hear him hopping and sometimes, but it's mostly the Jim show. We might get a special guest, aka plain name. We'll see if he pops in or not. But today our show is specifically about child support. And more specifically, that it's not really for the kids, or is it? What do y'all think? Make sure y'all leave something in the comments. Let us know. Do you think child support is really the best thing for kids or not? The reason why we say this is because it's kind of not what you think it is. Some people obviously do know what child support is. They're I would say dealing with it on both sides of that. But for the most part, I really want us to focus in on, do we think that this is a financial pipeline more so than actual support? And
I don't have $1 million to spend on cameras, mics, and teleprompters, but that's fine because with the script
I can't see that. But more so, I want y'all, as you watch this video that we have
out there that still doesn't understand.
This is gonna be from MTR. Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, I believe is his entire YouTube name. Check him out. We always we like to give back to the content creator of their work that they have, so check him out. But as you listen to this, I want you to think, is the system helping families or is it funding itself? Cash Pay, roll that clip. You're gonna say no, but please roll that clip.
The BS that men go through, then send them this video. Let's get active on this one. Without further ado.
What number are you asking the court to set your child support at today?
Honestly, I'm not expecting to pay child support at all.
You want the court to set it at 0?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why are you asking for $0?
Because me and Miss McDuffie fully co-parent. I fully get my son throughout the week, 4 days out the week. I'm fully capable of taking care of him when he's in my custody. She's the same as well. So I don't understand why I would be paying child support when we split. When I she have him, she take care of him, and when I have him, I take care of him.
Please keep in mind that he has the child more than he has her.
Don't drop him off with anything. I don't drop him off with anything, and we fully take care of him. So I don't see why we have to pay extra.
When did you and Miss McDuff stop living together?
I would say the ending of March of 2024.
And since that time, have you paid any money directly to Miss McDuff?
Yes.
How much?
I roughly, maybe off the top of my head, $400.
Okay. Are you in agreement to the order containing a retroactive child support judgment against you after credit, or are you asking that you be ordered to pay $0 in back child support?
Whoa.
Pay 0 in back child support.
Okay. Can you tell the court why?
I won't understand why I'll be back.
What you mean? Why? He just said, and mind you, so if y'all look, let me go right there. So this is the man talking right here. I think there is another man who comes on the screen, another gentleman, and I believe this is the judge over here, and this is the mother of his child. Okay. Normally, when these happen, they pop in like, no, you don't pay XYZ, yada 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 yada. She's not doing that. I want you to pay attention to how from my perspective, they're kind of aggressive. They're being kind of
And back
aggressive.
child support because when we was we only been split for a year. Before then, I was paying the rent, the bills. We were both taking care of the kids. It was no problem. We only been split for a year, and I still get my kid 4 days out the week, and I'm fully taking care of my kid when he's in my care, and she fully take care of him when she's in his care.
So literally the example of co-parenting. That is literally the definition of what one would say co-parenting is.
Okay, and right now you're seeing the child at least
4. I would get them Thursday afternoon and drop them off Monday afternoon.
4 days.
She has a
Do you have any
great
safety
schedule. She has a great schedule. So she's kid free all weekend. And then I don't know how old this baby is.
She got a schedule where she can make another baby. That's a make another baby schedule.
Where all she has to do is come home after work, give that kid a bath, give that kid some food, read a story, and put them in the bed in the morning, take them to daycare or wherever it is or school, whatever they do. That is a wonderful schedule. Like most dads are not gonna take Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're not doing that. They might start their week on Saturday, or they might end their week on Saturday, but you're not getting Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Where she can chill with somebody and they not even know that she have a kid for years.
Crazy work. But as
she
you
can say she ain't got no kids.
She
All
definitely
she got
could.
is stretch marks.
But she could say my co-parenting is clutch. You really would never see my kid, which is true, because if you coming over on the weekends, like you'll never see my kid. And the dad is cool. He seemed cool. Like I said, keep in mind as we talk about like behavior and stuff. Sometimes if you go back to the Felicia Rashad video, we talked about women and how they behave. Right now, she is behaving very well. I have never seen one of these shows where they have not said anything. So I just want to give her props so far.
Turns Mr. Fox with Miss McDuff knowing your address.
No, ma'am. No, sir.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Okay, then I will accept the agreed portions of this order, make the agreed portions the order of the court. I will order child support at $429 per month. I will order a retroactive child support judgment of $5,400 per month. Order that paid at $90 per month. Order court costs as billed. Anything further, Mr. Dell? The exchange location. The exchange location will be at the residence of the child. Mr. Fox, it is your obligation to pick this child up and take this child back home. Anything you and Ms. McDuff agree to outside of that is fine. But neither one of you have safety concerns, so I don't see any reason to do a neutral exchange location.
The first time that I saw this, I could not believe it. And then I thought to myself, well, am I surprised, right? Surprised that the judge, as cold, calculated, unfazed, ignored everything that the father just said. Logically speaking, the child is with
crazy work. She might as well have not even asked him. She should have just went on ahead and said, it's cool, boss man. I don't even need to hear. You gonna pay back child support, and this is what based on your income, what you paying. That's it. She could have just saved all of his breath. She wasted that man's time. I would have got off the call too. I have not seen this video, by the way. So this is my genuine reaction to this video. I cannot even, I agree with MTR. I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm incredibly surprised at how cold-blooded this is this lady's job. And she did not even give him a chance as a human being. Like,
we'll get into it in a little bit, but I mean, she is doing her job. That's the whole point of it.
At this part, yeah, we'll get it. But I'm just saying, like, from like a reaction, because I haven't seen this. I'm just saying, from my reaction, it's just like.
But I mean, it's what you think family court is. It's family court.
And I want to remind you, as that question: is the system helping families or funding itself?
The father more. So why are you making him pay child support on top of that? She's completely unfazed in hearing that and still wants to charge him $500 a month as well as back child support. But the wild part to me is how unfazed that she is as she gives her verdict. Now, if you have a conversation with a judge, if you have a conversation with these people in the family court system, they'll say something to the effect of, well, we do what's in the best interest of the child. Bullshit. How is this in the best interest of the child? How? Help me understand how this is in the best interest of the child. It makes absolutely no sense to me. If you're saying that the best interest of the child is not about the amount of days that the child has the father that are, the parents that are currently separated within the child's life, but what's in the best interest of the child is the money that one of the parents receives. You are reducing that father to be nothing more than a paycheck because you're signaling to him that no matter how many days that you spend with your child, that you're taking care of your child while your child is with you, it just doesn't matter. The
give me that money, run me that money, regardless. Oh, that's cute. Oh, you spend time with your child. That's cute, baby. Make sure my check on time. That kind of sounds like a pimp, doesn't it?
mother deserves the money. For what reason? For the child.
Do you want to know where to invest $1,000?
The crazy part to me is that, like I said, if you look at the mother, she has not said he doesn't do any of these things. She has not refuted any of these things. She is legitimately just sitting back hearing what he has to say. She did not object to him even asking for this. Out of line. Out of line. We gotta find out who that judge is. Although the craziest part about this, like, although we could say, hey, who is that judge? This is normal. I want you also, we need to look at it from like, this is a normal lens. And I'll get into some other benefits that happen once this is kind of kicked off as well. Cassius Pay, I don't know if we need to continue it, because I think we're done with as far as like the court case itself. If I get a chance to find out who they are and like what ended up happening, but I got a pretty good inkling that that man paying that $5,000 back plus the $400 whatever a month. It's very important who you have a baby with. It really is, because that baby is money. It's money for some people from a perspective of tax time. It's money for some people as far as like actual assistance. It's I'll get into the marriage part next. It's money as far as child support. From what I understand, though, men who are married and get divorced a lot of times end up having a lot more like rights depending on the state. When I say rights, if they had been married, that would have went a little different, because when they get divorced, that's a discussion. It's not just, hey, you had a baby with a chick, so we want our money. They don't necessarily treat them like that, from my understanding. I do have some people I know who have gotten divorced when their kids were small, divorced when their kids were teenagers, divorced when their kids are grown. From my understanding is that, like, dads have more rights in that situation. So if I was a guy, ain't no way I'm having no baby not being married, because I want to make sure I have my rights if I want to be in my kid's life. Now, if I don't care, then this might be a good opportunity for you because you don't care. But I don't think that's typically the narrative. I think most people care about who and what they create in this world. So going into the benefits, child support isn't just about the kids. I'm gonna tell you why. There are multiple benefits that women can get. I know I'm gonna say this wrong. It's the TANF. I don't know if they call it the TANF or not, but TANF is a benefit.
Yeah, they call it TANF.
Okay. And that's like welfare, which you typically can't. It's really difficult to get free money without a kid. I mean, it's possible, but it's hard. Another thing we'll talk about is the arrears. That's what that man had to deal with. That's basically retroactive money that's paid. We'll talk about different bonuses and how the government gets a payout. So first, let's start with TANF. If you have been one of the people, actually, let me back it up a little bit. A lot of people are looking for jobs right now. Sometimes when you apply to certain companies, an example would be like, let's say you want to work in corporate or an office, but it's like a grocery store, like it's like the actual product. You'll get through the whole application, and at the end they'll be like, "Hey, do you get TANF benefits?" And like I remember the first time I ever saw that, I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but it is indiscriminatory.
I remember seeing that when I was like 15,
Like,
14,
what is
15,
this?
when I was trying to sign up for Walmart to do the carts. And I was like, I don't know what none of this is. And they asked me if I was asking my mom, I was like, Mama, do I get any of this? Like, what is this?
You like, nah, baby. Go ahead and check that no box. Ain't nobody giving us nothing free.
It's like, do I get something if I sign this up? No, all right.
Just the government knocking on my door, talk about where this money you allegedly got. Your kid said you was getting. I remember the first time I heard about TANF. It was people that I work, ironically, I used to work at a grocery store. I will not say their name, but I used to work at a grocery store, and I was a cashier, one of the jobs I had when I was in college. And some of the younger girls, well, they were not younger than me, but they were older than me, but they were young, right? So I'm like maybe 20, and they're like 25, and they got 2-3 kids. And they would talk about like, oh, I don't want to work so many hours. They cut my benefits. I'm like, do you want to pick up the hours, Jim? I'm like, yeah, I mean, look, I'm in college. I need to get this money. So it was one of my multiple jobs in college. But yeah, I was a cashier with other cashiers who also get these benefits. So what are TANF? So it's welfare gets paid really before you do. So you can get if you get public assistance, they'll say like, okay, well, like you're working a job, but hey, dad, you gonna pay some of this money back over here. And it just like basically signals that they're getting welfare even though they're working, is my understanding of that. How does this affect current day? Now, I don't know if this is being cut. We'll have to go. We're gonna do another video about the big beautiful bill to do a deep dive into that and the different areas of it. But I do know that there were cuts into public funding at the federal level, meaning from what I understand at high level, it just means that like the federal government's not gonna fund it, but the state, so whatever your state is on, they might be like, nah, TANF is you gotta do 25 hours a week now, not 20. You know, they can make those decisions regardless of that. This man right here that we just showed, if his child's mother was getting TANF benefits, then they would take his money and pay it into that, is how I understand it. Like he's almost like filling a gap of them, quote, funding her welfare. That's how I understand it. Unfortunately, families a lot of times don't even see like a lot of the money until they're off assistance because the government's going to take their cut. I think there's like even fees associated. If you get a chance, go on your state's child support website just for kicks and giggles. Put in your state, click it in there, say child support estimator. Some of them have estimators. It will break down and tell you, hey, if parent A is making this, if parent B is making this, and this person's paying this much insurance, and this person doing this person doing that, it'll calculate what roughly the payment would be. There should be a line item of like state fees. So every time, like this court case that he had, there's a fee for him to do this. And then I believe every time he pays child support, like of that for whatever it is, I think it was like $420 he had to pay. He may be putting in $420, but let's say the state might be taking 300 of it, 320 of it. So really, she only gonna get maybe 200 out of the 420. Crazy work. Going into another thing is she talked about arrears. So one thing that he asked for was, I've been co-parenting this whole time. I don't know why I need to pay money from when he was born. That doesn't make sense to me. I've been paying for his food, paying for his clothes. I think it was a boy, paying for the baby's clothes. There's no need for me to pay back money to her of things that she's benefited in real time. So that's what he was saying. And the judge said, no. I don't care about none of that. Arrears. You gonna take that money that you owe from day one and you gonna pay that back too. So that was like $5,000 whatever dollars.
But why don't she care? Is the question.
She doesn't care because keep in mind, as I said before, the state gets a payment of that. So let's say I'm gonna make up a number. Let's say the state they're in is going to take 50%. So if she took the months that, like, if she took the same trajectory of months, times it by however months the kid is presently, they would take that. Let's say they take 50%, right? So if she charged him 5,000, I'm gonna charge you 5,000 in the back end. That means the state just made $2,500. And I'm think that might be kind of high, but I'm just giving a number that makes sense to everybody. If he's charged
The plan
5,000,
covers up to 66% in those reimbursements. So yeah.
so I'm just making a number. But here's the gag though. That's just the arrears. Homeboy still got to keep paying current day. So the state gonna get the 2,500. All right, guys, sneeze, y'all. It is allergy season and it is kicking my butt. So I apologize, y'all. So not only does he have to pay that 5,000, right? He's paying present day. So let's say it's 50%. He owes the 5,000, right? So state's gonna take 2,500. That 2,500 goes to the mom, allegedly. Not even talking about any other kind of fees that might be in there too. But let's say she gets the 2,500. He has a payment the next month, right? Let's say that's $500. We'll just say it's 500, which is what MTR had rounded up to. He's now given the state 5,000. Was it $5,750 or $2,750, and then the mother got $2,750. What it would be, instead of, if it's really about the kid, wouldn't she get all of the money?
You gotta think of it like a credit card. So
It's definitely like a
that's
credit
really
card.
how it is. So he got to pay an extra $100 a month until that $5,000 paid.
And then
paid
that was
off.
the other part too. She was like, it's an extra 90 on top. So then, oh wait, there's more. They're probably charging him interest on that on top of that.
There you go. So he'll never be out of that.
Well, I mean,
He'll never be out unless he made
oh yeah, and they
block
take your
payments.
taxes, and they will take his taxes.
And they're gonna
Crazy
take
work.
his license, and they're gonna take it's
Oh yeah,
he ain't
and
gonna
your
be able to get a
passport.
job.
If you get behind your child support as well, here's the
He already behind, so that's why he already done. He technically already behind.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, somebody drippers dropped something in there. I think that there's like they don't start enforcing what I'm about to say like day one. So for example, if you are like delinquent in child support, you cannot get a passport. You cannot get a passport. So for example, like I don't know if he's considered delinquent that day because he just got the ruling that day. I don't know what the grace period is, but I mean, in this economy, especially, I don't know a whole lot of people. If that's your child support payment is 500 a month, which is a percentage of how much you make. I don't know how many people in that kind of payment got an extra 5 racks sitting around. Like that's a lot of money for someone to just come up on today who didn't think they were gonna have to pay anything because they've been paying. He really could have just saved every dollar that was that was spent before, and he probably would have came up benefit in the beginning by not even paying all that stuff. Unfortunately, being an actual dad cost him more than not being a dad. So once again, does that benefit that child, or does it benefit the state? The next thing, so that's the arrears performance. So how states get bonuses for enforcement? Y'all have to excuse me. Like I said, my allergies are killing me. And in the meantime, too, check out the comments. There is a link to our community page. Make sure you click that and fill out that poll so we know what you are interested in seeing and hearing more about. And just drop us some drip. Just let us know. And also just leave a comment. Just let me know where you're from. These allergies are terrible. I don't know. And also drop a comment if your allergies are kicking your butt too, and not just me. Okay, so performance, going back into that. So how do the states get bonuses for enforcement? So there's incentive payments for states for doing a good job at collecting the support. Metrics such as like paternity establishment, successful collections, etc. once again, if any of y'all have any experience with that, or you've seen like the line item that says XYZ, drop some drip in the comments and let us know too. If I'm explaining any of this a little bit different that you have seen differently, let me know what state it is and where you see differences that I'm explaining it as well. But let's talk about good job. This goes back to the main question: is the system helping families or is it funding itself? Drop a comment if you think it's helping families, put help families. If you think it's funding itself, put funding itself in it. Anytime, I don't care what job it is, there is a bonus or incentive. Is it really for like the kids at that point? I would love to know. How do you get a bonus for doing a good job at collecting support? Wouldn't you get a bonus for making sure that the I would even see a bonus at like a great parenting agreement. Like not even paternity establishment. I don't care about the blood test or successful collections like on the money. Wouldn't it make sense that you actually have a full co-parenting agreement that says like things are covered, like the kid has insurance, and then if something happens to the parent, that they have, a will in place? Do they have the time of days, different holidays mapped out, like how they will communicate with each other? To me, that is the best interest of the child. What this signals to me, and what signaled to me from the video, once again, if y'all missed that video, go ahead and go all the way back to the beginning so you can watch the video of it, because it's just mind-boggling. What this signals to me, that you care about making sure that you keep the money rolling. Okay. Oh, what's up, play name? Yes, definitely funding itself. It's crazy. It's crazy work. So I ask you, are states motivated to help the kids or to meet the quotas? Because according to this, if you have metrics that say, I want to make sure you know that this is the dad, I want to make sure that you are sure that you can get the money, I want to make sure that you are for sure that you have a method in getting the money, whether it's banking, credit card, whatever it is, and I want to make sure that we know what kind of fees we can get. You ain't trying to help these kids. You mean quotas. That's what that says to me. So I didn't get into this part yet, but so the federal government reimburses the states for child support enforcement expenses. It's about 66% of it. So I ask you once again: is this really in the benefit of the families, or are states double dipping? And could that actually be why, in the big beautiful bill, that there's a lot of push to remove the federal aspect and be like, nah, you don't need my 66%. You got it. You handling how you're making metrics and how you're getting fees and all this. You double dipping over here. No. These are the people who vote in your state. You figure it out. You collected. You're doing the actual enforcement of you rounding people up. You figure it out. I actually never really thought about it that way until I started actually looking at like how much the states are in it. I always, before I guess getting older, I would say like young me always would have thought that it was like the federal government is like enforcing and creating all these policies for how child support would work. Because to me, that just makes sense. Like we're all like USA, right? Understanding that your state is impacting how it's collected is crazy work. Now, let's look at the flip side of this. I know I'm talking a lot about like, oh, it's like so unfair to the men and so forth. I'm saying this in a sense of that lady didn't say nothing about that man not doing that. She did not go in and say he doesn't do anything. She did not, say that he should have arrears. She didn't do any of that. I don't think it's always, I also want to put that out there. I don't think it's always that like the moms are combative. And I do want to give props that there are women who are not out here pushing for that when they know that the man is doing things. On the flip side, there's also dudes and women. I got a story on a woman one next, but there are parents who are not doing things for their children. and your lack of presence should definitely cost, because someone has to feel that if that parent's out hustling, grinding, and pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, as people like to say. Cash is pay. I see you got another video queued up. What's this about to be?
Visiting his 11-year-old son.
Y'all are in an uproar. I kept getting tagged in this video. I had no idea what was going on, and I have watched it, and there are definitely some things I need to clear up. That's what I'm here for. Go grab your popcorn. This case happened in Houston, Texas. Fun fact, I went to law school in Houston. I moved to Dallas afterwards, and that's where I've been practicing ever since. But I am very familiar with this case and the judge that heard it. I must say that the media is definitely putting their own spin on things, because he did not go to jail for overpaying his child support. And saying that he was over visiting his child, well, that's a play on words too. Y'all, this case is almost a decade old. This case is from 2014. How y'all went and dug this up? Now let's take it back to the beginning of this case so we can have a little understanding. So in the original suit, the first suit that involved these parties and this child, dad was put on child support and he was ordered to pay $300 and something a month. Sometime later, mom filed a modification to increase his child support because his income had increased.
That's not abnormal.
Before they appeared for that modification hearing, he was in arrears already for the current child support that he was paying. The $3,000 that they mentioned in the video that he paid wasn't some gift. It wasn't done out of the kindness of his heart because he had a little extra money. That was arrears. That was child support that he already owed her. So in the modification suit, his child support was increased by like $100. So he went from paying $300 and something a month to $400 and something.
Okay.
So in Texas, when child support is granted, there's a document that's called an income withholding order that is signed by the judge, which tells your employer how much money to withhold from your paycheck to pay child support. So somewhere between the drafting of this order and his employer receiving it, there was a clerical error. So his employee was never withholding the correct new amount of $400 and something a month. They continued to take out the old amount of $300 and something. Now, this is where the problem lies. So I need you to pull your hair back and listen up. Under Texas law, the obligor, the person who is obligated to pay child support, has a duty to make sure that they are paying the correct amount in child support every month. The reason being is that you are the one obligated to pay child support. So when you see your pay stub or your paycheck and the correct amount was not taken out, it is your job to make sure that you're paying the correct amount in child support. Your employer is not on child support. You are. You have to make sure you're paying X, Y, and Z amount.
I think that's most states.
You. So when he wasn't paying the correct amount in child support month after month after month after month, this gave mom the right to file an enforcement lawsuit. And he can't blame his employer because you can see how much money is being taken out of your paycheck. You know you're not paying the correct amount. Let's say that he's ordered to pay $400, but his employer is only taking out $300. He should have sent her another $100. Zelle, PayPal, something. And to make matters worse, he was also violating the possession and access schedule under the order, which is just a fancy term for visitation. So not only are you not paying your child support correctly, but you keeping the child from their mama. But the news said that he was going to jail for over visiting with his son. Isn't that a nice way to put it? This is another thing that I need you all to understand. Enforcement lawsuits are extremely technical. It is the most black and white area of family law that we have. It's either you violated the court order or you didn't. I tell this constantly to my clients who don't pay their child support correctly. I tell this constantly to my clients who do not give the father their children the way they're supposed to. You can go to jail for up to 180 days per violation. So every time that you're not paying your child support correctly each month, new violation every month. Every weekend that the mom is not letting the father get their child, new violation each and every time. 180 days per violation.
6 months,
even though in my personal professional opinion, do I think 6 months was a harsh sentence? Yes.
That's a lot.
But did the judge legally do something wrong? According to Texas law, no. And for those of you that are
that's nasty work.
So that's defeated till it looks like you state.
I mean, also
be on some
she was kind of harsh with like, oh, isn't that cute? Like over visiting. But then you would be mad if he was under visiting. Then he'd be a deadbeat. You could have missed me with that though, girl. I think most states are similar about the informing thing. And I would challenge her where she was like, oh, you could have sent her Zelle $100. Basically, from that video we saw earlier, even if they would have sent $100, it wouldn't have mattered. Because you didn't send that $100 to the state. And that's really the problem here. Like, it's almost like Monopoly. when the bank want to take you to pay the bill.
Yeah,
You
you would have
can't
had to
just
make
pay the
sure you
bill.
had a receipt, and you still would have had an admin fee for them checking and seeing if you paid.
That 100, because the 100 isn't 100. That 100 is 145. Because they want their 45 too. So you giving her 100 is not good, because that was my money. That wasn't her money. You're supposed to come through me so I can give her the money. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I already talked about the bonuses. I'm at the part where we're talking about fees, fines, and frustration. So that's what we're talking about now anyways, because you talked about admin fees. So you deal with the state, deal with the government. So you're going to get taxes, you're going to get paternity test charge fees. It's really just an admin hustle. Is not like any major money, but it's still money that they're getting. So let's say their admin fee, oh, it's just a little admin fee for us to do your paternity test. It's only $100, but it's $100 for you to then use that against me anyways. Why y'all not just doing that? Because you just gonna make me pay for y'all anyways. It just it just doesn't make sense. And
Jim
then,
Jones, you sound like a baby daddy right now.
you know what?
Why
Hold
are you?
on.
Whose side are you on?
I'm on either side. I'm on the side of make sure that kid is able to be taken care of. And I'm fired up about that video earlier because, like I said, that lady didn't hop in and say that man wasn't taking care of his child. Not once. She didn't say nothing about it. He was lying, none of that. And the judge just did not care. I don't care if it would have been reversed. I would feel the same way. I also want to point out, if you are not visiting your child, if you are not doing the things you're supposed to do, absolutely they should be throwing you to the wall because you wanted to partake in this situation. Or if you didn't, that's a whole other conversation. It goes two ways. I'm going to give you a quick little story. I once I know someone, I'm not going to put their business out there, but they were married, and the kid was not quite school age yet, and the mom just was like, I'm not finna do this no more. I'm going 2,000 miles to get my back blown out, and just left the baby with the dad while married. And got her back blown out for a couple weeks. Then she came back. Hey, I wanna make this family work again. It was like, no, you just left me with a baby while I'm trying to work. And here's the gag of all gags of that. Well, that's a whole other conversation for another show. But sis was not even working. He paid all the bills. She said she was tired of taking care of the child and she did not want to be a mom anymore. So he said, cool. So he ended up getting, I believe, most of I think it's called like primary custody. And then she gets visitation. I believe that her stuff ended up being kosher. But to me, on the flip side of that, if she's trash, then throw her to the wall. I don't care which gender it is. I care that the kid is being taken care of. And I also care that this is BS that the state is hopping in and making all these fees. If considering that being the case, along with the federal government giving money into it, it's just a whole problem. I am interested when we do our big, beautiful bill review, like a deep dive into that, how much it cuts into this. And I hope that it cuts deep. And the reason being is I think the states need to stop dipping their hands in the process of it and actually making it for the child. Because if that's the case, the state should be getting 5% tops. I don't care what fee, none of that. In total, you shouldn't make more than 5% because everybody already pays state taxes. That's where I sit at it. I don't sit on either side. I sit on the side of what's right. And the state ain't right. The state ain't right. So who wins and who loses? So the government is not only the judge, right, of who's going to pay, but they're also the enforcement, right? So they make money back. They will always make money. The states get bonuses, and families can get left out and also still not get the support that they need. When women say support, it's not always financial, although I do hear most of it is the financial part, but they would have more support if you gave them all of the money. So that kind of doesn't make sense to me of how like the state is actually how the state is actually helping because they're not they're dipping their hands in the pool that they're already getting money from the federal government with. So then this raises a question. Is this justice or is it just business? Y'all think they just running it like a business? Drop some drip in the comments. Let me know. Let me know. Y'all think they just look, we need to get paid as government employees. How you think we get paid, sis? Well, I think there's different ways we could do that. I don't think we need to, essentially hit the workers who put money into the economy in that way necessarily. And I'll get to the flip side of that too before I hop off. So, do I think all men are like this man? No. I have friends where their child's father doesn't do anything for them, doesn't financially help, or when they do get the kid, they treat the kid like trash. Um, I mean, I get it. So do I think that it's bad that these are in place? No. Because I do think a lot of times mediation needs to happen and sometimes people don't want to listen. A lot of times people don't want to listen to women. And so like actually listen to them. And so it does give them a platform to be like, hey, these are all the things that I can prove that are needed. What you about to fund in this without having to like call and argue and all that. Like on the flip side, same thing for the dude, but from the woman's lens, it does give them a avenue to get some of the things that they need. So I don't think it's all bad. However,
Can I
the
interject in
amount.
that too?
What'd you say?
Can I interject in that too? Because I don't think that is right from a rights perspective. Because you don't have the same rights to due process as you would in criminal court, right? So
That's true.
whether it's a man or a woman, it could be biased. Nobody cares. Usually, it's in the favor of a woman. Nobody cares. You got some. You called out trash moms, but there's probably more trash moms than we are led to believe out there because there are gag orders that are attached to some of these proceedings. If you're talking, you on mute.
No, I had to. Somebody was at my ring door. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, okay, my bad. So when that comes up, then it's definitely an issue that needs to be addressed because as society's moving, women are making more money. They're becoming the breadwinners of society, and what happens? You have those, they thinking that the Britney Spears situations or the Halle Berry situations or Janet Jackson situation, what all of these different things.
But you could end up like a Kelly Clarkson situation or a Halle Berry situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you talking about where they have to pay alimony and child support to the man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They better watch out because that's a real thing.
But that man, got to be in California. That's usually first step. But you definitely not going to be able to get that off being, quote unquote, the new term is able-bodied that everybody's bringing back out for people in these particular.
I mean, it was
issues.
never, which is crazy. Like this is how privileged that is. Able-bodied was never a new thing.
Right.
If you don't have a disability, like a physical disability, you were able-bodied. Like, and even if you do, like, it's crazy.
Able-bodied, man, people, you was still in wheelchairs, you still got that ass up. You had an issue, you still got that ass up, and you were being put to work in various capacities. It is baffling to me.
I think it's used on a discrimination, like
there
a
you
legal
go.
part of it. That's what I'm saying. It's like more on the legal part of
Right.
it as the able-bodied is what. But I'm just saying that's still not new. Like, if you able-bodied or not. Did you walk in here? Were you able to turn the door with your hand? Like there's stuff like that. Were you able to sit down without assistance? Like there's just things. Anyways, don't even get me on the privilege thing. Privilege is so many different things that people don't even think about. They are so just very, they should be appreciative, to say the least. They should be appreciative of some of the things. But yes, I do think some things that can be of reform, or like, is it constantly going to be a revenue stream? I think, in my opinion, allergies are killing me, y'all. From a reform perspective, I think if I understand the big beautiful bill correctly, it's gonna start that process, because now the state's gonna have to step back and be like, we ain't getting that 66% the same way. Now we got to come up with how we are going to be colorful and tactful in how we distribute this money. I believe they still get money, but it's not distributed the same way. So I don't know if they'll get as much money, but the way the money was set up before is going to be different. So yes, I do think there's a reform that's needed. I do think that this is an opportunity for, conversations to happen as the presidential elections are done, but there's always local, and you got your house, you got other different elections that happen that are not aligned with the presidential all the time. That's an opportunity for change, opportunity for conversation. Man, these allergies. I do think reform is a possibility. Is it a revenue stream? Yes, it will always be a revenue stream. I think it will always be a revenue stream because people always have babies. Maybe the parent we're not having as many babies, but it is a revenue stream because when we think about somebody has to pay for X thing, the child is X thing. Who can we hold accountable for it? It will always be a revenue stream. Even the foster care system, they get paid to be a foster parent. It ain't like it's a adoption, like a I can't think what they do where people temporary
philanthropy.
Yeah, it's not philanthropy. Like I'm sure it's not enough to raise a child, but it's still not just they're getting funding for it. So
it might
there
be
will
up
always
to
be a
get
revenue
4,
stream.
5 of them. You get that mixed with food stamps, mixed with all the other benefits that might come along.
Yeah, but that BBB saying you better go ahead and go to work though. I don't care. You got 6 of them little foster kids. You go to work. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy in the sense that at my camera. It's crazy in the sense that it's been a revenue stream. It's been certain ways of the childcare system has been a hustle for a long time. And y'all know about it. This ain't news to a lot of people. Drop some drip in the comments. Let us know a story you know of that it's a revenue stream. I'm sure even if it's not you, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be someone you went to school with, someone someone you dated. This is not new. But what is new is focusing on how does the big beautiful bill, how will that impact this? We talked on Section 8. We're going to have to get a deep dive into that overall so we can hash out some of those. So with that being said, here's the final drip. Really appreciate y'all's support. I 100% believe in people doing the right thing, which is supporting the kid, being there for the kid, making sure the kids have the things that they need. They didn't ask for you to be their parent. Always remember that. They didn't ask for you. You asked for them. When you did what you did, you asked for them. They didn't ask for you. And so I think...
And some of us ask all night long.
I don't know that by no sense. And so as we look at it from that lens, we need to be doing what's right for the kids. So that's all I got today. I am your host, Jim Jones, and I have Cassius Pay supporting me in the background. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure y'all drop some drip in the comments. Make sure you check out our community page. We're going to have more and more polls dropping to understand more about what type of content, what types of things you liked, you didn't like, and so forth. Really, really, really appreciate the support. Make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button. Make sure y'all share this with 2 friends, plus your mama, grandma, or somebody else that's very close to you. We may get on later tonight. We might not. I'm pretty sure we're going to do something again. It's a long weekend, and Plain Dane will be with me rocking out. So anything you got, Cassius Pay?
Yeah. his music's going and you messing with your camera and everything, looking like bad boys, what you gone? But from my standpoint, people used to try to handle these things outside of the courts, right? It used to be a thing where that enforcement wouldn't be necessary. And if you can, I would say that you should. Because if you can be an adult about it, then do what y'all gotta do. If you gotta have big brother, big daddy in the background with hands in your pocket and taking some out of your pocket on the other side, on the other end, then what are we doing? We can't talk to each other. We can't come to an agreement without adding in all that.
I think
go ahead, go back with the female perspective.
No, I was going to add into that. I think that's a good segue to check out that the Halle Bailey and the DDG video, as well as how we talked about Papoose and Remy Ma, because like that's also because a big chunk of like working together is that you're not like upset about what happened on either side of it, or being able to talk. Sometimes people can't even talk to each other, and this is also how the courts get involved. So I'm not bringing like any specific perspective, but I do know sometimes people have to get mediators, which is essentially what the state is doing in this instance, is being a mediator because they feel or see that they're not being listened to and things need to be done. So I understand how it happens. Just we need to just keep it in the lens of what is best for the child or children.
If you don't want no kids, you can always check out, Lavender Marriages and see how that goes too. Right there.
I bet you most of them probably got at least one kid too. I bet you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because you learn your lesson the first time. Like you gotta go do it again. I would love to see a poll. Right. I would love to see a poll on how many of the Lavender Marriages have women that have at least one child or have been divorced before. And that they're not going to go through that again. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like I said, make sure you drop some drip in the comments. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and check out our Instagram. We have X, we're on Threads, and we also have a Facebook, Our Daily Drip Show. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Boom, boom.